Hi, I'm Sarah. Welcome back to my channel where I talk about my journey to sustainable health and meaningful success. And today I am getting ready for work. It is 6:30. I've already kind of started everything in my morning routine. I got up at 6, and so now I'm going to throw on some makeup before I have to head out the door at 7 o'clock. So here we are. I'm going to pretend to be a morning person for you, but I really am not. I'm not at all. So I guess at this time, while I'm thinking about it, if you're coming back and you've already subscribed, welcome back. Y'all are my people, and I love you so much. And if you haven't subscribed yet, it's 6:30 in the morning. I'm doing this for you, okay? Just please subscribe. Anyway, and yeah, I guess I'm just gonna get into it because I don't have time to be a perfectionist. You girls gotta go to work, make that money, Miss Independent. Anyway, I've already done my face. Well, I've already done my face, like my skincare. This is gonna be a rough video. Strap in, y'all. So today, a topic that I have had in mind for about 24 hours now is the topic of therapy. I took 3 weeks off of therapy in December, so I just went back to resuming therapy sessions yesterday, which was very timely. It was great timing. But I realized that I really need therapy, actually. The original reason why I went to therapy was right after I miscarried. I kind of was like, oh my, this is too much for me to process on my own, and I can acknowledge that, and I need to deal with it right away instead of trying to figure out all my issues in the midst of other issues going on. So I started going to therapy so I could really start processing all that. Plus I had left Amway, and that was a huge part of my life, and so I figured I just needed to make sure that I was being good to myself and to others around me by taking care of my issues. So it's been on my mind though, because I find myself suggesting therapy a lot to people. And it's not because I know what the answer to their problems are. It's actually probably because, they're like sharing things with me, or they're venting about something, and it's like the things that they're talking about are problems that myself, as a semi-normal person, I don't know the solutions to. I don't know how to process through it. I wouldn't know how to help them, like, actually get over their issues and root out whatever, like, negative emotions are kind of planting themselves in there, like, in their own hearts. Like, I don't know how to help you as a lay person, like, as a general person. That's why I always suggest therapy to people. And I wish that therapy wasn't, I think it's getting better now because people in general are more open to talk about issues and like problems, and I guess maybe that's one thing about like our culture that's like kind of good, that you see before and after pictures, but people are actually willing to talk about what their problems were before they found the solution. I'm maybe a little bit countercultural in the sense that my whole YouTube channel is talking about my problems like while I'm going through it. So you see kind of the whole messy struggle of everything as I'm going through it. Like, you don't just see the after of my weight loss and everything. Y'all are seeing just raw me trying to put myself together again. But I think people are still a little bit insecure about admitting that they have issues and problems. And I actually think that choosing to go to a therapist to talk about one's issues is it's a power move. It's a power move on your part. You're really just getting the jump on issues that are going to arise in the future. It's like, I think it's the most strategic thing you can do is to address things before it starts affecting other people. I don't know. Or you could try bitterness and resentment and just really holding all that anger in for whatever you're angry about until you don't even remember what you're angry about. You're just an angry, bitter person. I've heard that really makes people better people. Kidding. I don't think that's ever worked for any marriage or any family, any parenting relationship. If you hold on to your problems and you don't address them, you end up passing those problems to other people, or you come in with your problems and then they come in with their problems, and then you try to make some sort of relationship work and you just end up creating more problems. It's just, I just wish people would address it head on, you know? These are the things that I think about at 6:44 in the morning. Okay, I gotta figure out, what do I look like today? I attempted to do my hair. It did not turn out so well. I may retry it, but I probably won't, to be honest. Okay. What am I doing? I was doing my makeup and then everything came to a halt. Okay, I'm just gonna do that. Anyway. Something about therapy that has been really helpful for me is just being able to process with someone who is completely removed from any situation I could vent about. She doesn't know, my therapist doesn't know any of the people, she's never met any of the people that I'm talking about, and she doesn't really have any sort of vested interest in how those situations turn out. She's just like there to help me cope. I forgot concealer. We all over the place this morning. This is probably the only time I'm ever gonna do this because I'm really not a morning person. I'm barely a person in the morning. You know what I mean? I'm one of those people. But here we are, 4 hours of sleep, and we're already getting started. It has been refreshing to get back to every, mundane part of my normal routine, though. After the holidays. Something about it. I didn't even do that much over the holidays. We did travel for New Year's, as seen in my previous video. But even with 5 days of not doing anything and not going to work, it kind of threw me out of my normal groove, So I'm finding that again. But yesterday, being my first therapy session back, I kind of had a really tough time leading up to my therapy session because I don't know if it's straight up anxiety or if I'm just an overthinker and I have one of those personalities that really internalizes things and really gets in their head about whatever is going on. I just process a lot, and I'm a verbal processor, which is great when I have somebody to talk to, but it's terrible if I'm like silent and not talking through those issues with anybody and it's just all in my head. Because then those problems just seem to multiply the more I dwell, you know? So leading up to my therapy session, I was just dwelling on things that I haven't been able to talk about with anybody for like 3 weeks. And it all just kind of came together at one moment that led to like a mini panic attack. But I'm fine. Yeah. It was at that moment that I realized, even though I'm a little bit further removed from the issues that happened like this past summer, and like everything that I just told you about earlier, I still need to develop better ways of coping and addressing issues, because everybody has problems, and I think myself personally, I forget that. I forget other people have problems, and sometimes it can feel like I'm the only person that has issues. Or if it's a messed up situation that I'm in, sometimes I can like internalize that to think that I'm the only person who is messed up about it, when other people could also be in the wrong. So self-hatred never helped anybody, really, that I know of. Comment down below if you've heard of anybody who was helped by self-hatred or hatred of others. Please don't comment below. Only love, joy, and peace in the comments below, okay? Oh, all right. We've got 10 minutes. Let's make them count. What would really make me shine this morning? Isn't that like a song from Annie? You're never fully dressed without a smile. So this is my full get ready with me. Smiles included. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Anyway, that was just my mini rant that I had kind of stored up for a little bit. I'm probably preaching to myself more than anybody else. It's just, I've seen in most cases, even when I was like studying the foster care system in college and just really delving into issues like in society in general, most issues that people deal with can be traced back to things that were passed down to them from previous generations or from previous relationships that left them even more scarred than they were. Like, this is already a messed up world. We already are born with a certain amount of darkness within us, and we're already just trying to find the light. But when our darkness collide with other people's darkness, it just, nothing good comes of it, which is why it is our own personal responsibility to deal with our issues. But know that you're not the only person dealing with issues, and it's okay to go to therapy and admit that you have stuff to work out. And maybe it's not even your own stuff. It might be things that other people caused in your life. Other people harmed you. And now it's your responsibility to deal with those issues so that it doesn't manifest in your relationships and end up damaging other people. Like, if for no other reason, if you can't go to therapy for yourself, go to therapy for the sake of the people who love you and who you encounter, because you just don't know what harm you could cause to other people if you don't deal with your own stuff. And it's okay to admit that you have to do that. Everybody has issues, and I think what people often forget is that those issues are visible. we're not as well concealed as we think we are. It's kind of like me and makeup. If I'm trying to cover something up, I might think I may have had that full coverage that I wanted, and I may have thought that I like created something that's really beautiful, and then I step out into natural light and all of my flaws are still exposed, and whatever makeup that ended up caking onto those flaws just end up magnifying it even more. That is my 653 analogy for you. But I don't know. I'm just ranting at this point. I feel very passionately about therapy. Yeah. I just think everybody has issues. If we all acknowledge that, we could all just stop pretending and actually deal with the problem. But, yeah, my therapist, I really appreciate her because I don't just get to talk about my problems and like vent it out with her and that's it. She actually has kind of given me a little bit more of a way to cope with those things. For instance, I have struggled with self-hatred and kind of like a weird hot mess mixture of like depression, anxiety, and just like isolation, that I kind of still probably like really struggle with on a daily basis. It's just lessened now. But one thing that she suggested that I do, which I'm doing now with you all, is to put on makeup every morning. It was something that it makes me feel better about myself. It makes me feel more centered and more prepared to engage the day. I'm doing this all backward. I did like all my makeup and now I'm putting on concealer because that's just how I am on a Wednesday. But yeah, so she suggested that I put on makeup because it's a routine that centers me, helps me get focused, helps me feel like myself. Makeup has always given me confidence. I don't suggest using makeup as a mask to like hide who you really are, what you really look like, but for me it just kind of brought out the best in myself, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that, to accentuate your assets, you know? Maybe not in a slutty way, but you know what I mean. But yeah, it was a coping mechanism that I actually didn't really realize that, you know, L'Oreal and Maybelline are helping people all around the world just feel like themselves and give them confidence to take on every day. That's how I've felt. All right, we have 4 minutes. I'm not gonna set this because that'll just add moisture on top of my already glowing skin. So I'm just gonna do mascara and I don't know, just go with it. Okay, so this is my completed look for an everyday work day. I'm gonna go get dressed and figure out my life. I might film like 30 seconds when I get to work just to, you know, wish you all a happy day. But yeah, I'm sorry if my ranting offended you or annoyed you, but you know, these are just topics that we have to address because it's a common human issue that for some reason most humans think that they're the only person who actually deals with it. And it's just not the case. It's just not the case. People need to get woke. It's 2020, y'all. The era of self-acceptance and self-love. I really do hope that you have... Actually, no, I'm not even gonna say that. I hope that you don't think I'm like preaching at you. I'm just saying my opinions, but it's not like... I don't know the solution to everybody's problem. I think that's why I always suggest therapy, because I don't know how to fix your problems. But I do know that if you are a human being watching this video or not watching this video, you have issues. So the only thing I can suggest is to see somebody who might know how to help you deal with those problems. Also, it's 7 o'clock, but this is something that I really just need to throw in there. If you think that you're over emotional or oversensitive, or you don't understand people who are over emotional or oversensitive, it's that just because you have more emotions or you express your emotions more doesn't mean you're wrong for being that way. And for some reason, somehow in our society, we got in our heads that having emotions and feeling things is something to be ashamed of and to shut down as soon as possible, so that nobody can actually know that you're a human being who registers things on a deeper level than just animal instinct. And I think that we need to change that. 2020, let it be the year where having emotions is not something that's looked down on. I feel like that's something that people need to be liberated about. You are free to feel things, and it is your right, and it is actually a gift that you've been given to have emotions and to be able to process things on a deeper level rather than just acting like a robot and acting like nothing in this human experience affects you. If things hurt or make you feel a certain way, and maybe those emotions aren't rational, maybe they're misplaced, but that doesn't mean that they're not valid, and that doesn't mean that they're not worth being heard. If you're a human being and you have emotions, you have the right to exist in this world. You have a right to space, and you have a right to speak up for yourself and the things that make you passionate. Angry passionate or excited passionate, like all of those emotions are, there's space for that. And if there isn't space for that, maybe you need to go someplace or find relationships where there is space for that. Because you are worthy just like everybody else, and you have a right to take up space and to require a certain amount of respect. And it's just, I think it's the silliest thing that for generations, at least in the culture that I grew up in or in the culture that I'm in now, I think it's the silliest thing that people try to diminish the idea or hide the fact that things actually emotionally affect them. Sensitivity is not a bad trait. In fact, I think it is a good trait to have, to be sensitive to other people around you and to be sensitive to the things that affect your soul and that affect your spiritual and, mental well-being. To be aware of that is a strength. So, yay for the sensitive and very thoughtful people. I hope that those feelings, emotions, and thoughts are well placed today. And that's rant part 2. I'm going to go scramble to get ready, and I'll probably just talk to you real quick before I walk into work. Okay, so I got to work like 3 minutes early with just a little bit of road rage, but this is my final look for my Wednesday work day. Yeah. I was thinking on the way over here, trying to remember everything that I said, because normally on most days I don't even remember how I got to work. So but I guess when I was thinking, I think I said like everybody has emotions, and I understand that there are some people who legitimately, like, neurologically do not have emotions. That does not mean that they are any less of a human being. I am not talking about those people. I'm talking about the majority of people who have emotions and either feel them passionately or repress them with vigor. That was what I was referring to. I don't know if I have to clarify that. I don't know if there are any, like, psychopath or otherwise non-emotional people watching my channel. I feel like you have to be kind of an emotionally intuitive person to be able to tolerate me. If you've subscribed, you probably know. But anyway, I'm just talking at this point, trying to delay the inevitable. But alas, I must go to work. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time, okay? Bye.